Hello, I'm Susan Matthews, and I am so excited that this evening I'm getting an opportunity to speak to Leon Thomas and Joel Gray. Both Leon and Joel are graduates of Robert Morris University, and they both have degrees in sports management. Good evening, gentlemen. I
Good
wanted
evening.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, welcome. I wanted to discuss with you something that I know to be true, and that's the common lineup when it comes to sports conferences. Now, it's my understanding that if there's any opportunity for there to be African American speakers, it's usually around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not around their success in business, not around anything that they have to bring to the table in terms of being a professional, but mostly about their race. Joel, is that correct?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me tonight. That is definitely a reason why this type of conference was very important to Leon and I. Many a times, people that are not white are brought into conversations specifically to talk about race and DE&I, and that stuff is important, but they're also professionals. We wake up every single day and serve in the capacity in which we do, whether it be in marketing, finance, technology, for a sports team, but that's usually not broadcasted. So this is just our opportunity to get those folks in front of anybody inspiring to work in sports to talk about their journey.
That's wonderful because there's so much that goes into actually the business of sports management that these professionals really can offer and really give some great information. I'm sure you agree, Leon.
Absolutely. There are so many seasoned professionals that work in sports and other industries, and they don't get an opportunity to present, to show their expertise away from their company. And what happens is college students and those that want to enter that field, that industry, they don't see African Americans, they don't see other people of color, they don't see women sometimes, other than that diversity panel. And so, as Joel mentioned, what we hope to do, particularly for our first conference in sports, is to let minority students and others see folks that look like us, that look like those students, um, to give them an opportunity to talk about their expert status in their business disciplines.
Nice, nice. So this is all going to start with a sports conference, but the whole entire series, is my understanding, is called the New Generation Series of Conferences. They're going to have different subjects, but we're talking about the sports conference that's coming up now. So when it comes to that next generation conference, a little bit different when it comes to sports management, what can these students who attend expect from this conference? What can they expect to see while they're there?
Jump in. I think on this conference, you're going to have some bright minds come around the table to talk about media, to talk about marketing, to talk about the operations on the team side, and also community, because that's where I live. And I'm really excited that our peers, some of my peers in the industry with sports, who are Black, all raise their hand and say, yes, I would love to do this. Give up 30 minutes of their day to just share their knowledge with these students.
That's wonderful. So, how about this idea? What if I'm considering having a career in sports management, but I'm not too sure? Would you suggest that I attend as well? Leon,
Yeah, absolutely. You should
thank you.
attend
Yeah.
because you're going to be exposed an opportunity to learn from many professionals that are already in the industry, right? So you'll hear them talk about their jobs. You'll talk about what they do. For anyone, as an example, that's interested in marketing, the gentleman that we have that's going to be the guest for our marketing program, his name is Koshe Irby. Now, most folks have never heard of Koshe Irby, but Koshe, I promise you, many folks are familiar with his work. He used to be the senior vice president of marketing for the WWE, the wrestling. And he was recruited from there to go to work for PBR, Professional Bull Riders. He's their chief marketing officer for a sport that is marketed to an 80 to 85% white audience.
Mhm.
An African American gentleman leads the marketing. And so they're going to hear anyone that's on the fence, you're going to get a chance to hear Cochet talk about what he does in marketing and give some expertise about that and talk about his background. But here's the one that we're really excited for. Jock McClendon will also be at the conference. He will talk about football operations. So, not necessarily football coaching, but football operations and everything that entails. And here's why we're really excited. He was on another show that's run by Jasmine Pollock. Jasmine has her own show called First Impression Sports Talk. And on that show during the preseason, we asked him if he would come back, and the answer was yes. And he works for the Los Angeles Rams. So the guy that's the director of operations for the
Winning,
Rams is going to be here.
Super Bowl champ.
right?
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't get any better than that. That's
I think,
amazing.
yeah, so it's going to be a great learning experience, but some timely information too.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. I see, while this is the first conference, it's going to be the first of many for new generations. Absolutely. I also am excited about the inspiration that can come from attending this conference for the students. You might not know exactly what it is that you want to do when it comes to sports management. You might not even really considered a full career, but with the wonderful lineup of speakers, with Joel and Leon heading the way and giving you some wonderful information, it's going to be nothing but a win for everyone to be part of this conference. So I understand that it's coming up on the 25th of February. Joel, am I correct? 25th of February is right.
Yes, you nailed it right on the head. We're about 10 days out, and I'm really excited about it. And again, as a student, I'm pretty young. 2014 is when I graduated from Robert Morris. And I remember, leading into graduation, really trying to pray and seek God on where he wanted me to go in my sports career. But I had the benefit of being a ball boy with the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2007 in high school, throughout high school. So I got exposed to, okay, you don't have to just be a coach. You don't have to just be a trainer. You don't just have to be a player. There's people that carry the cameras, people that run all their social media, people that, come up with these marketing campaigns to sell tickets. So I knew all these jobs existed. So when I went to school, I was able to, figure out what was my niche, what was the way that I connected with the sport. And mine was in nonprofit field, and that's why I work in community relations for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So again, I think that we're calling all talent, right? Finance analysts, data analysts, come to this conference because there could be an opportunity for you to get behind a sport or your favorite team in the future. And we really want to speak life into that and help you really, make these decisions as you lead into graduation or looking for summer internships as well.
That's wonderful. So from what you're telling us about your experience, you are actually part of that path that these students are walking. You've actually gone from wondering what you wanted to do, getting your education, having the opportunity to realize that there's so much that goes into sports management that now you can pay it forward, so to speak. And those who are also interested in having this kind of career as well, you're able to put those people in place that you might not have had put in place for you when you were coming up. So that's amazing and wonderful idea. I really, really think that this is going to be a success. And again, I know this is the first, right? But it's not going to be the last at all. By far, not the last.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. I think that as a young professional, I see it's very crucial that we build a good pipeline, a good chain of communication with the next generation, hence why we called it Next Generation Conferences. And we wanted to start with sports because that's where my expertise is. But we want to tap into Brother Leon's expertise of hospitality, technology, medical field. And we're just going to let God continue to make ways and doors opportunities to get experts in those spaces that are Black, come and speak to the next generation that are interested in working in those industries.
Wonderful. I know that, again, we're starting with sports, but I also would like for Leon to speak to what are some of the other subject and other conferences coming up It's on the
Yeah,
docket.
we're going to have one on hospitality and hotel management. We're going to have one on technology. We're going to have one on the arts. We'll have one involving medicine. And it's interesting. I was on a another show where I was talking with someone, and I did not know that she had a medical background. So I was talking to an African American lady about something away from conferences, away from medicine, and I find out that she has a medical background. And I said, "Well, let me tell you what's going on." And so we already have two commitments for that. My background is in hotels. I worked in the hotel industry for around 35 years, and so I have a lot of folks that I've already talked to about being a part of that conference. And so it's sports is our first one, and we both majored in sport management. Joel and I did, and it's a love that we both have. But there's so many other areas that we'd like to be able to tap into those connected areas that we have to bring folks in and talk to the students to help students get moving in the right direction, and maybe even provide some contact information. Who knows, one of the presenters may end up being a mentor for one of the students. Maybe there's a job opening that they have at one of the organizations. You just never know what's going to happen. And so we're very excited about the possibilities, about the outcomes.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless. I'm inspired just having this conversation with you of all the wonderful things that next generations can do. So as we talk about the sports management conference, because that's the first one on the docket, it's up on the 25th, about 10 days from now. If I haven't signed up yet, is it too late for me?
It's not too late. You go to nextgenerationconferences.com, and you'll see the link for the Leaders in Sport conference, and just click on that, and it'll take you to the registration page, a real simple page to register. And it's not too late. Tell a friend. Tell more than one friend. Tell your family. Tell everyone, even those that maybe, as you mentioned, Susan, maybe on the fence about a career in sport. This is a good way to test it out. So you go to Next Generation Conferences, and you can register right there.
Sounds great. It sounds exciting. There's so many great things that are happening for this first Next Generations conference. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for blessing us with your knowledge and with this idea. And I also want to thank you for blessing the next generations. Thank you so much. This is going to be nothing but good things for all who attend. I appreciate it. I'm in. I'll be there.
All right, great. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your time. Thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you so
Absolutely.
much, everyone.
Absolutely.